Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Moving On Up. For those of you that are new or don't know me, my name is Angie, and I am a Senior Sales Director here with Mary Kay Canada, and so excited to be here with you tonight. Tonight is going to be a kind of a different sort of type of call. I know when you come to this call, you know that you're going to get really great information on business tips. You're going to get selling ideas and all that sort of thing. But tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about building yourself while you're building business. And so this has been sort of my thing. The last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of work on building myself because I believe that the life we live is a result of our own choices. And if we don't like it, it's our responsibility to fix it. And results, although sometimes harsh, are always fair. And so I think when we build ourselves, we can have not only a great business, but we can have a great life. And so tonight, that's what I want to talk to you about. So it is a wonderful time of year to build business. And every time I talk, I say that, and you guys are like, she doesn't know her notes, because she says that every time, and it's not always the same season. But I really feel like spring is a great time to build business because it's kind of new, right? It's new outside. There's buds on the trees, the green grass is coming in, all that sort of thing. And it also, I find my customers have that sense of new, and they want to, it's like they wake up in the spring and they're all of a sudden like, hey, I need to wear makeup. And especially now, a couple of years after we've been in a global pandemic, they're like, I don't even know how to wear it anymore. So it's a really great time to build business. I have a random thought that I'm going to start with. And for those of you that know me, you know I'm very random, and I don't apologize for that because that's who I am. But I said this on my call with my team on Monday night, and I'm going to say it to you again, that you are not in competition with anyone, ever. No competition. And I think we understand that fairly well in the Mary Kay world, because there's very few places where you can come in and say, oh my gosh, you guys, I had the best facial, I made $400. And the real world might say, oh, must be nice, you're sure lucky. Whereas in the Mary Kay world, we scream our heads off for each other. And so I just want to remind you of that. You're not in competition with anyone. So anything that you feel you need to learn, anything that you feel you need to work on, anything that you feel is your strength, you're right. Because the only one who knows is you. We are all in the different place in here. Some of us are mothers, some of us are not. Some of us do this full time, some of us just dabble. Some of us have big goals, some of us not so much. We all have different time we can put into this. We all have different family situations. We all have different money requirements or amounts we want to earn and targets. We all have different lifestyles. We all have different values. So the great thing is that we are not in competition with anyone, because that is not a fair playing field, right? Mary Kay is not competitive. However, I think that we inflict competition on ourselves. It's in our Mary Kay business. And how I know this to be true is on Monday nights when I have my team introduce themselves, I say to them, one day it was, Monday it was, what are you most proud of your, of your April? And my girls that were on are gonna smile. So there was just different kind of glimmers, and I knew what the glimmers were. Some were like, oh, I didn't do anything good. Or, oh, I bet you she did something way more than me. Or, oh, I don't want to say that because it's not as good as so-and-so. And that's why I want to reiterate that competition, and you're not in competition with anyone, because everything you do is valid for you and is valid for your life, your goals, your direction, your lifestyle, how much time you want to put in, the money you want to make, all of that. Okay. As the directors of this Moving On Up call, our ultimate goal for you is happiness. Whether you want to do this as a big thing and be like the superstar Elva Green, who just debuted as a sales director, woohoo, new car, as well as Where's her beautiful senior? I know I saw her on here. I'm just going to look. We have Holly Oliver, also brand new car driver, now senior sales director. We got some superstars in the room tonight. Let's give them a little shout out. Ultimately, we want happiness for you. So for those of you that want to be like Elva and want to be like Holly and move up the path, and that makes you happy, awesome. But you all started this business for a different reason. Some of you started because you wanted some money, right? Some of you started because you wanted a girlfriend club or sisterhood, or, you know, to be surrounded by positive women, right? Some of you did. Some of you started because you wanted some tax breaks. Maybe you have another job that takes a lot of your tax money and you wanted Mary Kay to help even that out a little bit, keep more in your own pocket. Some of you might have started this because you understand that Mary Kay has a great product and you wanted in on that you're like me, you're a little frugal and you wanted it on a good price, right? Some of you might have started because you heard this thing about diamond rings and free cars and trips and all that. And I remember Elva being inspired by that one night when we had a meeting after the meeting, and she was like, what? This is all available? Okay, I got to take another look at this. I remember that very clearly. But ultimate happiness does not come from a diamond ring. Sorry. Ooh, I hope that's not a spoiler. But ultimate overall happiness is not going to come in the form of a single diamond ring. It's not going to come in the form of money in your bank account. It's not going to come in form of any one thing. Ultimate happiness comes from well-rounded fulfillment. Well-rounded fulfillment. Okay. Rich people can be sad, right? Some of the loneliest people we know are very wealthy. People with tons of friends can also be sad because maybe they're so broke to be able to go do anything with their friends, right? People that pay less taxes can be sad. People with great skin, diamonds, cool cars, they can all be sad too, right? Not one thing is going to give us that. We are here, and most importantly, our feelings of fulfillment come from more than just one place. The last director meeting we had with Linda Rose was awesome. And one of the things that she said, it just was like, yes, because this is something that I've been studying for the last couple of years. And when she said it, it felt like it gave me, I don't know, it just felt like it was like, okay, we're singing the same song, sister. And she was talking about the last couple of years being a little bit tough. No questions there, right? And that she encouraged us to refuel and replenish. And I was like, what? Not cracking the whip, Linda? What the heck, right? I mean, I know personally I need to refuel and replenish or I can't be as effective. But when the general manager of our amazing company says that, that just reiterates the thoughts that I've had. She suggested acknowledging where you are at in 4 areas and making sure you refuel and replenish in those areas. And the 4 areas that she mentioned were physically, emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. So our physical self, our emotional self, our spiritual self, in our relationships. So in my unit, when I went back and told them some of the findings of this meeting, some of the girls laughed and they said, Angie, Linda doesn't got all the notes. You've been talking to us for a long time about the nine areas of well-being and the 9 areas, and she only mentioned 4. So this is what I wanted to talk to you tonight about, finding fulfillment in your 9 areas of well-being. So the 9 areas of well-being, according to what I've been studying, are, Linda's right on mark, physical, spiritual, emotional, social. For some of you, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm good at that one. Environmental. And I'm not talking about, I'll get into it later. Intellectual is the next one. Intellectual well-being. Occupational well-being, which occupational is what occupies your time. So most people say that's their job, what brings them an income, because that's what occupies the bulk of their time. Financial and mental. So the 9 areas of well-being are physical, spiritual, emotional, social, environmental, intellectual, occupational, financial, and mental. Those 9 areas of well-being will give you well-rounded well-being. It's impossible to just work on one or to work on all of these areas at once. Like you might be like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to work on all these. Holy, she's giving me a big thing of homework. No, stop. This is something that is something you do over time. Random thought. You're never done growing and learning, right? We're always in a place where we can learn more, be better, do more. The things that we think and that we do right now, who knows, 5 to 10 years from now, it might be, those are actually wrong and this is right. Like, like things are kind of cyclical, right? Even when we're, raising our families. And when I was an infant, it was like you lay your babies on their tummies to sleep. Then when I'm a mom, that's wrong. You got to lay them on their back. And pretty soon it'll be like, make them do a headstand, like who knows, right? So what we know right now is that it's working on all of them is going to give you the most well-being. So why is it important to work on 9 areas of well-being rather than just work on your job, right? Like right now you might be saying to me, yeah, Angie, I get it, but you've been here a really long time. Actually, I had my 17th anniversary as a director on May 1st and I didn't know, I forgot. So that's pretty awesome. But you might be thinking, well, Angie, you've been here a long time, so you don't have to work on your just occupation as much as I do. I've got to put all of my effort and energy and time and love and everything into there. No, that's not true. The reason that we need to work on all areas is that if you're depleted and empty and you totally avoid like maybe your social or your physical, you get lopsided and then you're depleted and you can't help others, right? On the plane when you go and you're flying a seminar and the lady's telling you to put your oxygen mask on you first when she's giving you the emergency service announcement, and then you put it on someone who can't do it themselves. The same with us. We have to work on ourselves so that we're emotionally and spiritually and all the things well so that we can be of more for others. You'll be more able to be more and be your best self when you are well in many areas, okay? Your best self will shine through when you're well in many of the areas. The world needs you, the authentic you, not the one you think others want you to be, not the one that you've been told you should be, not the Mary Kay mold, that little Darcy rep we used to have, how she looked, not that we're all supposed to be like her. The world needs you to come through. The grounded, refueled, replenished, authentic, transparent you. Business success is important, yes. And you can get many of these areas filled while you do your business. That's the beauty of this. We've got a job where you can get a lot of these going on and building all of these areas and encouraged to build these areas while you're also building business. The second reason why this is important is when one area is weak, you have 8 other areas where you can possibly feel like you're winning. So when I started this journey back about 6 months ago, as I'm going to show you how to do this later, but I had to rank my 9 areas. And one of my lowest was my physical well-being. At the time, I was feeling very fluffy. I was feeling very not fit. And it stifles me when I feel that way. When I'm not building my body as in exercise and all of that, because that is a really important thing. It's a real big win for me. When that isn't working, I feel bad about myself in all areas. It affects my social life. It affects my spiritual being. It affects my emotional life. It affects my mental status, all of that, right? So when I'm feeling really low in, say, physical, I can still be doing okay occupationally and I can still be winning in other places. So I'm still building a place to win. It's our job to create a winning spirit within us. And if you're judging yourself based on solely one area and that area isn't doing so well for you, what is that going to do for your overall well-being? It's going to take it into the tank. But if say my physical well-being wasn't as good, but my relationships are doing pretty well, my occupation is doing pretty well, my environment is doing really well, when I'm doing my reflection of the things I've won at today or the things I'm grateful for today, I'm focusing on what good is coming out. What you think about, you get more of. So if you're in the place where you're beating yourself up about a certain part of your life, you're going to get more of that. You're going to get more beating up. If you're looking every day for the places you are winning and you have all these different places to look, you're going to get more of that. So in turn, you're teaching yourself how to look for the good things that you're doing and build on them, knowing full well every other human on the planet also has places where they aren't doing well either. And we're all in the process of working on the places where we're not feeling as strong and nailing out the places that we do feel strong. We also know that this can go up and down, you know, sometimes we're feeling really good mentally, some days not the best. So if we know that it's an ebb and flow, but there's 9 areas to pull from in places to find out where I'm awesome, I'm going to find a place I'm awesome every day, right? 3, the reason this is important is it takes the pressure off of one area and allows for harmony and balance. So when I started looking at the 9 areas of well-being, knowing that my lowest one, I believe, let me just look because I've got it right here. Yeah, my physical at the time was my lowest. It was okay because I had so many other places I was winning, which is sort of what I just said. And the 4th thing about this is at the end of an era in your life, because we all have different eras, right? We have our single era, and then we have our newlywed era, and then we have the after, like, you know, had a first baby, small children era, and then we have, you know, teenage era, kids are teenagers. We have retirement era, we have menopausal moment era. We have all the different things, you know, we're women, we've got them. But if you've got a 9 area of wellness life, and say you leave the era of working outside the home, like having a job, your whole world doesn't fall apart because you still have all this other well-being that's still there and still the same. And it makes transition from phases of life much easier. Have you ever met or known of someone who was totally focused on career? Men tend to be this way. They focus totally on career and they work hard and they bust their butts. And then they're working towards retirement. And then they hit their 55 or 60 or 65 whenever they decide to retire, and they retire, and within the first year they drop over dead. And they work their whole life for something they got to enjoy for this much time. When we are well in 9 areas of well-being besides, so 8 other areas, that transition will be easier. Number 5 reason why this is important is you are not pigeonholed into being your job or your family, or, you know, if you have these 9 areas of well-being, you're about so much more than just one thing. I'm going to be really transparent here. And for a number of years when I was a younger director, my whole life revolved around Mary Kay. I loved it. And so I'm not saying that it was bad or it was forced or anything like that, but I was so stoked about having this job where I could work from home and my babies were close, and earning this car and being able to put in the work that I put in and advance myself and not just be given the wage that others deem me worthy of. I was just stoked about it, right? But I got a little off balance because I was so like all about that I started getting known as the Mary Kay girl all the time. And I'm so much more than that. Like, I don't want to just be that. I'm a fantastic mom. I'm a great partner to Chad. I'm an awesome daughter. I'm a sports fan. I'm a strong athletic woman. I'm a leader in my community. I'm so much more than just the Mary Kay girl, right? And so to be able to know that all my areas of well-being are in place so that I don't just have to be one small part of who I really am, that to me, I feel like that gives me freedom. All right. And number 6, and maybe the most important part, because this is kind of what Linda was alluding to, is that being well balanced in the different areas prevents burnout. Because if you're looking at these 9 different areas as areas that you need to work on for well-being, you're going to make sure that your physical health is something that is a priority enough that you do what you need to do to keep yourself there. You're going to understand that your mental health is very important so that we can keep ourselves there. You're going to understand that relationships are important to keep going and living. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I tend to be quite social, but over the last couple of years, I forgot how to do that the same. And I found that I was getting to a point where I almost was afraid of being out, and so I found my relationships slipping. I mean, I'm really happy with my family and my partner and, you know, the core people, but I felt like all the others, like my friendships and stuff, I didn't get that face to face. So one of the changes, or one of the things for my well-being, is that every week I have a date with friends. Every week, sometimes more than once. And it's not work related. It is going out for a wine, or it's nacho night, or it's whatever, going for a walk. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 girls and myself, sometimes just me and one-on-one, but I get social time every week, and I feel like that's a blessing. So what are involved in the different areas of well-being, you ask? Some of them are pretty obvious. Okay, so physical. So I'm going to go through these. I'm going to give you some of the key points of each area so you can kind of assess for you, oh, I didn't think that was that, but maybe I do need to check that out. Okay. So physical is, of course, your body. So how you feel, how you move, how you wear your clothes, your self-esteem, the confidence you carry, your health or fitness goals, strength, flexibility, and agility. So when I read that list, I was like, flexibility, I never thought of that. And I always joke that I look like I'm a 90-year-old granny because I can barely touch my toes, but I can lift some heavy things and put them down and lift them up and put them down. But I'm not very flexible. So I'm going to work on that, right? So that's physical. Spiritual, your connection to others and the greater universe, or God, the one, the infinite, whatever your higher power is. Environmental, this one I like. What surrounds you? So the people, your furniture, plants, sounds, smells, chaos versus peace, new versus old. So normally when you say environmental, people think recycle, reduce, reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? No, this is different. This is what surrounds you. So no, I'm not going to go into it yet. I'll just, because I want to tell you all the things, but I'm going to stay on track because I'm really good at staying on track. Emotional. What emotional is obviously your feelings, experiences that invoke feelings, your beingness, your mindset, stability, anxiety versus peace, contentment, happiness, love. So all your emotional being. The next one is intellectual. And I'm sorry if I'm not going in the same order as what I wrote before, but this is, sorry if that's. So intellectual is your acquisition of knowledge, how you consume it and use it. What do you love to learn? Guys, I didn't realize how important this one was until I started doing a lot more in the last couple of years, just doing more courses, more taking different classes, all of this stuff. But this, I I have a new affirmation of what Angie is. Angie is a lifelong learner. I love learning. I think that learning is one of the most important things you can do to keep your relationships exciting, right? If you ever notice, you go to a restaurant and you see a little old couple and they're so cute because they've probably been together, married for like 107 years, and they just so gentle with each other, and they sit across the table and they know what the other one's going to order, and they're just so dang cute, and they say nothing the whole meal. They ran out of things to talk about. But I think if we are growing our intellectual self, that you'll always have something to talk about, right? Occupational. Occupational is what you do for money, what occupies your time for money. Singular focus or multiple sources of income, job, career, entrepreneur, investor, free living, what is your occupation? Social. This is the one that I've been working on, and it's been really filling my heart. How do you connect with others? Do you even want to, right? Do you like large groups, small intimate circles, new people, or safe people you've known forever? What kind of relationships do you want to have? Most importantly, who do you want to surround yourself with? And setting boundaries for those that we have to be around, but maybe aren't best for us. That's been another really good learning lesson. That's really changed my life. Okay. Financial. What is your relationship with money? What's your money story? Are you a spender or a saver? Do you want more? And in what currencies? So some people want more cash, some people want more investments, some people want more real estate, some people want more gnomes all around their house, right, Kirsten? And mental. How do you want to perceive the world? Do you feel safe? What is your belief about yourself? That's the most important one in this. What do you believe about yourself? Are you enough? Are you worthy? Are you brave? Are you lovable? And are you pessimist versus optimist? Where are you in that? So those are the 9 areas of well-being. So I'm just going to go through a couple of them because so some of them are like obviously physical and all that sort of stuff. The environmental one, this is one that's been really, I've been learning more about in different areas. Our environment and what surrounds us is really important in the way that it helps with our energy and our feeling of optimism and moving forward. If we have a cluttered area, if we walk into our office and we go, oh gosh, this place is a mess, can't stand it. Is that going to be a place that's conducive to you crushing out a rock star business? No. If you walk into your kitchen and think, oh man, I just know the stove's dirty and there's stuff everywhere. I can't handle this. Is that good? If you walk into your bedroom and you're like, oh, this feels peaceful. This feels a place for me to just gain rest and peace. Do you want to go there? Yeah. So when it comes to environmental, one of the things I've been challenged to do, and I've been doing it weekly, and it's making a big difference, is who here has heard of Marie Kondo? Marie Kondo is that cleanup queen where she believes in like purging everything and getting rid of stuff. So this is what I did, is I made a list of all the places in my environment, house, car, emails, photos, all my things that I felt were cluttered or I didn't bring me peace. So my sock drawer was driving me nuts. My closet, there's one drawer in my kitchen that drives me bananas. I don't like when my garage isn't all lined up and neatly in place, all that sort of thing. And then I take time every week. Lately I've been doing every day because I've been going through all my photos in my phone because I had 11,020 whoops in my phone. And all of them, like 90% of them are like, welcome me, like our headline, things that I've saved to post on our pages that from like, I don't need that for 7 years. Like, seriously, get rid of that. So lately I've been every day, I've been cleaning out at least 300 photos. And then so my thing's going down and it's making me feel lighter. Going through the places that kind of drive you crazy. And we all have them. Even if you're the most organized, clutter-free, neat and tidy person, there's still things in your life that kind of drive you a little bit crazy. And that environment, cleaning up that environment so that when you walk in your home or even in your yard, you can feel like, every place you go. That's my goal. That's my goal in my environment, is that I love every part of it. It makes me feel great and at home. And so that's kind of the ultimate goal. Now we know that when you're working on these things, it's not something you're necessarily going to get all done in 1 week, right? You're kind of going to pick a thing. So let's talk about what to do to improve the 9 areas of well-being for you. So number 1 is to take inventory. So you know how Angie always tells you to go for coffee with yourself? Go for coffee with yourself. Okay, you can do your coffee at a coffee shop. You can do coffee in your bedroom. You can do coffee at your front at your table. You can do coffee on your front porch. I don't care where you do your coffee. And you know what? You don't even have to do coffee. You could do tea. You could do water with lemon in it. I don't care. But take yourself somewhere where you're going to leave your phone away, where you can't hear all the distractions that life may bring, and you're going to go for some time of solitude for you to take your inventory. Not of your products, but of yourself. So you're going to take inventory of the 9 areas of well-being, and you're going to look at the 9 areas of well-being, and you're going to rate yourself from 1 to 9. 1 being, ooh, I have a lot of place to improve there. 9 being, you know what? I think I got that nailed and there's not a whole lot I can improve. So you're going to look at your physical goal. For me, how it went when I did this is I instantly felt like a number came to my mind. Sadly, my physical was 2. It came to mind. It was like, that's what the number came. So that's what I wrote down. Okay. Second thing you do is you look at what your preferred reality in those areas would be. Okay. So if you had, we'll just take physical. It's going to be our example for the whole thing. If physically you were a 9 out of 9, what would that look like? It might mean I can go for a 7-kilometer walk and not be so sore that I can't put my shoes on the next day. It might be I can do 220 squats and still be able to seat myself on the toilet the next day. Right? It might be that I'm flexible enough that I can tie my own shoes without even bending my knees. It might be that I feel confident in all of my clothes. It might be that you're confident and you know that you kind of rock in a lot of ways, and people are blessed to be in your presence. Now, it's not going to be just one thing. Your preferred reality is going to be as a whole physical being of you. If you had a 9 out of 9, what would that look like? Okay. And I'm not talking, what can you do in the next week? I'm talking down the road, however long it took to get your 9 out of 9, what would you personally look like in there? So you go through all the different categories. And then you pick your top 3. Well, actually, it's not your top 3. It's your bottom 3. It's the 3 you feel like you need to work on the most. Okay. And you take a really hard look then at the preferred reality versus your point A. So whatever is going on in life right now for you is called your point A. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. It does not matter one bit, because point A, the only thing about point A that you need to know is that it's getting better from here. So when I had, did I tell you guys about my girl that I don't like anymore? Her name was Francine. Francine, my scale. Her and I don't get along. She's mean. And she makes me feel like, I guess that's being very victim-y when I said she makes me feel. When Francine and I spend time together, I leave our time together feeling inadequate. So Francine is no longer in my life. She's moved away. And I did need to experience Francine when I started my point A, because I needed a point A to be like, okay, we'll never be here again. Francine, I'm going to step on you now, and then adios, amigos, off with your head. I don't want to see you again. And so that's all your point A is. It doesn't matter, because we know that from here on, it's getting better. Okay. And then you set a plan that if you set a plan that's realistic for you, that is not crazy girl, I got to get this done quick plan. Who here has ever decided, I know weight loss is a really good example for this. You think, okay, I have like family reunion coming this summer. I need to drop 25 pounds. So you drink like 18 gallons of water a day. You eat nothing but watermelon, and you're tired and exhausted, and you drop all the weight, but you can't even lift your own hand to brush away your hair because you're exhausted and depleted. You might have lost the weight, but it all comes back on because you didn't do it in a healthy manner, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about small changes that over time create big transformations, right? We're talking about progress versus perfection. We're talking about one foot in front of the other and doing something each day. Okay, so setting up a plan for you to improve just 3 to start, just 3 areas, not all of them, but your bottom 3, I guess, to make them better. And then each day, and this is the most important part, each day you write down your 5 ways that you won that day and the 5 things that you're grateful for. So one of the things that I wanted to improve some financial stuff was one of the areas, because after you're done working on your first 3, then you go to like the next 3 that you want to work on, right? And sometimes that you got the same one that carries on every time, but over time you're gonna be like, you know what, I think I'm done working on that right now. I'm gonna do something else. But one of them was my financial, and I was thinking, okay, what does that look like? Does that mean like, you know, huge, like all of a sudden I'm selling 10,000 a month, or, you know, no, Angie, no, remember Angie, you're working on progress, not perfection. You're going to notice all the ways you're winning. And so it like was the little things like, well, actually I even have a better example. I said to my coach, I said, in my occupation, I wanted to change in a sense that where I feel like people come to me, that I'm not chasing, that I'm not in like being pushy, that I'm not like always seeking others out. I wanted to feel like they're seeking me out. And she was like, oh, that's a really good goal. And I kind of said that, and then that was it. And then, you know, with this group that I'm in, we have to tell our 5 wins and our 5 gratefuls. And I said, oh, it's really weird. This is like 2-3 months later. It's really weird. Like I had like 4 people phone me this week and ask to book appointments and ask if they could bring their friend. And so the first appointment came, she bought $209 with product. So that was really cool. The next group of girls that came, it was 2 of them. One of them spent 276 and the other spent 281 or 251. And then I forget what the third one was, but my coach just starts laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing? And she's like, Angie, do you not remember what your occupational goal was? And I said, well, yeah. And I started listening. She goes, no, I distinctly remember you saying you wanted them to call you. And you putting out there, it's starting to happen. So the reason I have this exercise where you write down every day the 5 ways that you win and the 5 things you're grateful for is A, Mary Kay told us to have a gratitude list, and B, sometimes the wins are so small we don't recognize them after a week has gone by. But if you have that little win, you're like, oh, that was awesome. Right? Oh my gosh, someone phoned me for CC cream and eye makeup remover, and they haven't phoned me in 3 years. This is awesome, right? And you can write that down as your daily win. 5 times 7 is what? 35 wins. How would that change your outlook if 35 times at least in the week you won? Would that change your energy? Would that change your belief? Would that change your passion? Absolutely. right? Another thing that I would really recommend is when something good happens, your language should be like, whenever I have a sale that comes in or whatever, like whatever happens that's good, it's like, yes, thank you, I'll take more of that. So every sale, yes, thank you, not out loud. Like you don't want to be like, yes, thank you, I'll take more, buy more, buy more. No, it's not like that at all. But after she's gone and the door is shut and handed her products, like, yes, thank you, I'll take more of that. Right, and I have a power move and it's this. Yes, thank you, I'll take more of that. And I do this little celebration because I was guilty of never celebrating a win. Always being so hard on myself that unless it was like the new Cadillac showed up on the driveway, until it was something like that, I never celebrated. So I was always feeling less than, right? So now I do my power movement. Yes, I'll take more of that. And you know what? What you put out, you're going to get more of. What you put out into the energies of the world, and you put out, God, this is what I want more of. Guess what? He blesses you. And so not only are you creating periods where you realize that every day is a chance for me to be a little bit better, but then that consistency of progress, your results kind of go like this. And then whoop, all of a sudden you just like go right up because momentum starts. So at the beginning it might feel hard, you don't see a lot. It's just like weight loss. You know, I ate salad and I exercised and I'm the same weight tomorrow, right? But if you do, you know, the healthy things and then moving your body more, all of a sudden whoop, people are like, man, you look good, girl. Right? And it's kind of after a while, it's not right away. And that's what we're trying to create. So what would be the results of you looking at your life as the 9 areas of well-being and building yourself while you build business? What could the results be? Well, A, your business automatically gets better because you know who you are. You've been doing the things you need to do to build yourself mentally, emotionally, intellectually, physically, occupationally, socially. You're doing the things that fire you. You're doing the things that bring you joy. So for me, it's being social with friends. It's working out. It's being in nature. You're creating places of joy every day. Does that not make you want to spring out of bed, right? When you're that type of person, loving every part of your day, people will, it can't help but change your business because people want to be around happy people, right? Eeyore doesn't have a lot of friends for a reason. The second thing is that you attract different people. Because one thing I know for sure is negative people get annoyed by people who are positive and happy. So you will, you know, you kind of repel them, and you bring together more people that are like-minded. And the more people you bring together that are like-minded, the better your life gets. You have more stimulating conversations. You have more challenge to grow and learn. You get your mind blown about potential and what could come. So you change your friend group. Third thing is you raise the bar for yourself. And as a result, you raise the bar for others around you. If people are like, the other day I was talking to someone and on the phone and she said, you know, I just have to say, I don't know what it is, girl, but every time I talk to you, when I get off the phone, I just feel like I can do big things. And I just want to start to cry because I thought, is that not the best compliment? Right? Is when you can help people feel good about who they are. I've raised the bar for myself. I've improved other areas of well-being. And then it causes her to feel like she can too. You guys, if we all did that to our circle of influence around us, imagine how different the world could look. Not only would they be cuter because they're using Mary Kay, but the whole attitude of the world would be better, right? Number 4 is you find joy in every day, or you know there will be more joy tomorrow. Because I'm not going to, you know, paint the world with rose-colored paint and say that every day is perfect. But you know that there's good in every day because you're finding your 5 ways of winning each day and the 5 things you're grateful for. So you can't help but see what's good in your day. But on those really, really rough points of your life, and we've all had them, right? Sometimes tragedy hits, sometimes, you know, really not good things happen, diagnosis, whatever it might be. But you know that you can trust that tomorrow will be better. When your 9 areas of well-being are well, even if one day is really bad, you know there's hope for better tomorrow, right? And this is the thing I think I like the most, is that you have more grace with yourself, which automatically gives you more grace for others. And when you're giving yourself grace and you're giving grace to others, you are like a magnet for people. You can't help but attract really awesome people. So is it worth it? I think so. What does it mean to work on yourself? Guys, I don't know. You all have your own things to work on, right? For some of you, it's going to be like, yeah, I don't want to, right? Sometimes we have to work through some painful things. Sometimes we have to work on forgiveness. Sometimes we have to work on healing some really terrible things that maybe happened. Sometimes we have to work on things that aren't serving us well. Maybe it's addiction, maybe it's self-destructive behavior, maybe it's really, really bad self-talk. And it's not easy to change things around. So can I give you a step-by-step as to what to do, what means working on yourself? Well, maybe if we had a one-on-one conversation, but in a group like this, that would be impossible. But I think if you took some time to have coffee or tea or lemon water with yourself, you'd be able to come up with some things that you know could help you be better. Or at least, you know, be taking a step forward into your, away from your point A and get you one step closer to your point B. All right. Like I said at the beginning, our goal here as you're moving on up directors is for you to have a happy life. And I know for sure with everything in me that when you work on your 9 areas of well-being, you get happiness in all things. You raise your bar, you see your own potential, you have more grace with yourself or others. You feel a sense of peace and harmony. And to me, there's not a whole lot better than that. So I just want to encourage you, even on, you know, the things that you might have to deal with that aren't necessarily comfortable. It's always worth it. And it's not something that can happen just today. It's going to be it's going to take you some time to work through the different things, but I guarantee it's worth it. So ladies, if anybody has any questions, that's great. Oh, I see the chat has been busy. Let me just. Oh, Selena, thanks. Oh, we're talking about Marie Kondo, yeah. Yes, and the retreat next weekend. Okay. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute and ask. If not, oh, thanks, Raylene. It's called my Au Naturel hair. So much easier when you're, me and Selena, we're twins. She's the short version and I've got the longer version. Yeah, it's natural. I've been fighting it since I was 15. So when COVID hit, I decided to just let the white fox out. All right, ladies, I think we're good. Have an awesome week. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you all. Have the best week.
Thanks. You too.